Few historical figures from Africa have captured the imagination of the world quite like Shaka Zulu, the legendary warrior king who carved out one of the most formidable empires in southern Africa during the early 19th century. Both celebrated and feared, his reign marked a turning point in Zulu history. He is remembered as a brilliant innovator, a ruthless commander, and a complex leader whose legacy continues to shape perceptions of the Zulu nation today. Here are 10 fascinating, sometimes shocking facts about the man who rose from obscurity to become one of Africa's most powerful rulers. Number 10. A revolutionary in warfare. Shaka is best remembered for redefining the way battles were fought in southern Africa. Before his reign, the spear, known as the assegai, was mostly a throwing weapon. Shaka transformed it into a short stabbing spear, perfect for close combat. This seemingly simple innovation gave his warriors a decisive edge on the battlefield, allowing them to overwhelm enemies in brutal hand-to-hand encounters. Beyond weaponry, he introduced new military strategies, famously organizing regiments into the bullhorn formation, with the central body engaging the enemy, while flanks swept around to encircle them. These methods transformed the Zulu into a feared military machine, admired by historians for their efficiency and ferocity. But while historians laud his genius, for many neighboring tribes, Shaka's army symbolized devastation, displacement, and fear. His rise was both a triumph and a tragedy. Number 9. Born into scandal. Shaka's beginnings were far from noble. He was the illegitimate son of Senzangakona, a Zulu chief, and Nandi, a woman from the Langjani clan. Their union began as a socially permissible practice, ukulabonga, intimate relations without intercourse. But the relationship went too far, and Nandi became pregnant. This scandal carried deep stigma. Because of his illegitimacy, Shaka grew up in his mother's settlements, often facing ridicule and rejection. These early hardships forged his determination and resilience. He eventually became a warrior under Dingiswayo, chief of the Mthethwa people, where his leadership skills quickly stood out. His difficult childhood planted the seeds of ambition. Shaka was determined to prove himself greater than those who had scorned him. Number 8. His birth name was not Shaka. Though history remembers him as Shaka, that wasn't the name given to him at birth. His father called him Skidi. The term Shaka was a cruel nickname rooted in insult. Nandi's pregnancy was initially dismissed by her clan as a case of Utshaka, a stomach ailment rather than a legitimate pregnancy. When Shaka was born, detractors mockingly referred to him using this name. While the insult was intended to belittle, it eventually became the title by which the world knows him. What was once a slur transformed into a symbol of power, dominance, and legacy. Number 7. His curiosity could be ruthless. Shaka was not only a military genius, but also a man driven by a deep, sometimes unsettling curiosity. Accounts suggest he was willing to go to horrifying lengths to satisfy his thirst for knowledge. In one infamous story, he ordered a pregnant woman's belly cut open to see how an unborn child lay inside. In another, he had a man's eyes gouged out just to observe how the victim adapted to blindness. Yet Shaka's curiosity was not solely cruel. He wanted to understand the world beyond Zululand. He even planned to send his loyal follower Sotobe to England to learn about the British and their advanced weaponry. Unfortunately, Sotobe only reached the Cape Colony and returned after Shaka's death. His curiosity reflected both the brilliance and brutality of his leadership style. Number 6. A passion for travel. Despite being a ruler, Shaka rarely stayed indoors. He preferred to travel by foot across his territories, forging connections with the land and the people. Many towns and regions in KwaZulu-Natal carry names linked to Shaka's journeys and impressions. For instance, he named Amanzimtoti after discovering its water was particularly sweet and refreshing. Other places, such as Kwadukuza, the place of stabbing, and Mapungjani, the place of being grabbed, were named after significant encounters and experiences during his travels. His habit of walking long distances reinforced his image as a hands-on leader who directly engaged with his domain. Number 5. His Spartan ideals. Shaka's reign was marked by an almost Spartan approach to society and governance. He believed weakness had no place in his kingdom. At his capital, Bulawayo, literally the place of killing, people deemed unfit were executed. Those who were short, for example, were killed on the belief they could not see enemies approaching from afar. Warriors wounded in the back during battle, proof they had fled, were executed for cowardice. This harsh system ensured a kingdom of hardened survivors, but also instilled deep fear among his people. It was both a method of control and a demonstration of his unforgiving vision of strength. Number 4. The expansion of the Zulu kingdom. Shaka sought to unite the many tribes of southern Africa, and his methods were often ruthless. He used warfare to subjugate rivals, wiping out some communities entirely while absorbing others into his empire. At the same time, Shaka recognized the value of diplomacy. Some tribes, such as the Mkhize, Sithole, and Luthuli, joined the Zulu through negotiation and rewards rather than intimidation. Their leaders became commanders, Izinduna, in Shaka's regiments. Over about a decade, his campaigns transformed the Zulu from a small clan into a dominant nation of over 250,000 people, creating the powerful Zulu kingdom that would shape Southern African history for generations. Number 3. Respect for a chosen few. Although Shaka ruled with absolute authority, a handful of individuals earned his genuine respect. Among them was Nkengelela Kamvuyana, a Buthelezi man who arrived as a stranger but rose to become one of Shaka's trusted advisors. Another was Zulu Kano Gandaya, a protege who enjoyed near equal status with Shaka. He was one of the few allowed to dine with him, an honor denied to nearly everyone else. These exceptions show that while Shaka demanded unquestioning loyalty, he could reward those who earned his admiration with extraordinary privileges. Number 2. His opposition to marriage. One of Shaka's most controversial policies was his ban on marriage for his soldiers. Even older warriors were prohibited from marrying, as Shaka believed romantic entanglements weakened men's focus and combat effectiveness. He insisted he was sparing his warriors from the evils of marriage, but in reality, this rule reinforced his control. By denying them families, Shaka ensured their loyalty and devotion remained fixed on him and the Zulu state. This stance was unusual compared to neighboring societies, where marriage was integral to social and political alliances. Number 1. His death was shrouded in betrayal. Shaka's end was as dramatic as his life. While popular accounts credit his half-brothers Dingane and Langana with assassinating him in 1828, oral traditions preserved in the James Stewart Archives suggest another possibility. According to some sources, Shaka was killed by Mbafa, a servant seeking revenge for his mother's death, which had been ordered by Shaka himself. Regardless of who struck the fatal blow, Shaka's assassination brought an end to his extraordinary reign. At the time of his death, he ruled a vast domain and had only encountered Europeans in the final years of his life. And that wraps up our journey through the fascinating life of Shaka Zulu, a leader, a warrior, and a figure whose legacy still shapes history today. What did you think was the most surprising fact about Shaka? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.